welcome to the Call the Sam podcast. I'm your host. My name is Sam. If you're new here, welcome. Come in. How's your auntie? How's your mommy? I hope you're keeping safe. There's a very dangerous flu going around. This influenza is crazy. Also, typhoid. Make sure your kids are safe. Make sure you're also safe. Wash your hands. Make sure your vegetables are also completely cleaned properly. If your water source as well is a bit dodgy, you need to rethink that. Last week, we covered postpartum depression. We covered why it's still a challenge in Zambia. I don't know about anywhere else, but in Zambia, it's still a major challenge. So we covered that last week. And we had Dr. Mwengwe Merai, who is back with us today, the obstetrician and gynecologist. Morning. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. And Miss Mwila as well, who is a mother of two, an avid adventurer. And Mwape Dyson, he is in logistics. So if you need something moved, this is your guy. Make sure you give him a call. How you doing?
Long time.
So why are you so formal though? Why are you behaving like you know?
You know, as a father, you need to.
You need to look the part.
As a father, you need to look the part.
Yeah.
As a okay, Mwape Dyson, father, logistics. This is your guy. You need anything moved. So today we're talking postpartum depression. We're delving deeper into this. We're talking to people who've actually been through it. Myself and Miss Mwila, who knows a couple of people, but she experienced it as well, mild form. So we're going to get into that. And also just remember, postpartum depression, if you're going through that, it is not your fault at all. It's not your fault. You're still a good mom and you're still a good person. So ladies and gentlemen, please, let's get into it. Last week I asked Dr. Mwengwe, why is still a challenge in the health department? Why PPD is still such a challenge? Why people don't talk about it? Why there's no awareness around it? But why are we not allowed to have postpartum depression in Zambia? Why are black moms not allowed to go through PPD?
We are allowed to go through it.
We are allowed. Please, where are we allowed? We're not. I would like to meet those people. Say, fine, it's fine.
Yeah,
go through it.
Yeah.
It's not your fault.
Why are we not allowed?
We are people. We are allowed to go through it.
Uh-huh.
The challenge we have in Zambia is our cultural, like we spoke last time.
Week, yes.
Yeah. Our cultural beliefs, our Christianity.
I love how we lean so strong on like Christianity, like just stay strong in the Lord.
Yeah, when
the
we
Lord just like I've given
go
you resources.
deep into our cultural belief, you know, us as women, we are taught we are not supposed to be weak. Mm-hmm. This is a natural thing. We are told, oh no, even when you bring it out as a problem, everyone is going to tell you no. Yeah, it's not a problem. Yeah, seeking attention. Everyone goes through it. You get over it, not knowing you might need help.
Yes,
not knowing how deep your situation is and help is there.
So you're saying help. I remember I spoke to a health care professional, practitioner. I don't know if they're professional. This professional would depend on how this story goes. But I spoke to this lady and I told her, listen, I went through this and these were my symptoms. This is what happened to me. And she turned and looked at me and said, you went through what? And I said, oh, PPD. And she says, no, Sam, we're black. We're black.
Exactly. Yeah.
We don't go through things like that. What do you mean? That stuff is for white people. This is coming from a medical healthcare professional. I don't know, but a medical healthcare person. So you see, when I ask you, okay, so the Zambian medical system is not designed to handle PPD. I'm not attacking you, by the way. I'm just saying, like, listen, I experienced a medical healthcare person telling me, but no, that's for white people. We black women don't go
in
through
as
that.
much as I'm a doctor, I also have this cultural and spiritual belief that I come with as I am a doctor, so that also has a role to play in someone's thinking and all. But we are allowed to go through it and you can be treated. You just need to talk to someone, to the right people.
Yes.
Okay, may I just ask, who should I talk to when I am experiencing depression as a mother? I ask this because I agree with what Sam has said. When I'm given that appointment to go back to the hospital after, is it 6 weeks?
6 weeks, yeah.
No one is asking me how my mental health is. There's simply focusing on the baby. How's the baby? Is a injection, this and that. They don't even take time to find out. So how are you coping as a new mom? Are you experiencing any of the symptoms? I feel like that is one of the things that we need to do if we are to really deal with this issue, because we seem to be focusing on the baby. Yes, the babies are good, they're blessings.
They are.
But there's a mother who needs more help. So as a health practitioner, maybe this is something that, these are the conversations that you need to start having. Incorporate mental health talks at that 6
Even before, we actually talked about this. Like our system is mainly focused on, even when antenatally, because you're, as a mother, you're supposed to be prepared antenatally before that baby arrives, that there could be this. Because sometimes even when after the baby comes, you may not understand what is going on. You may think, oh, because of our cultural and spiritual beliefs, so you may think, oh, this could be maybe witchcraft. You get. But if you were prepared antenatally that this may happen, you will be free to talk about it even when the baby comes. But our system antenatally just talks about, oh, how you're going to take care of the baby, how you're going to breastfeed the baby. They forget this. So as we spoke last time, we said we need to bring this out so that people are made aware. If we bring it out, the need to incorporate it in antenatally and in the postnatal clinics will be seen. But I agree with you. At the moment, we don't have that facility where you can freely talk about it. But people are aware there is this problem is there. We've had a couple of patients, I've experienced a couple of patients, but we don't have a well-established system where we can say, oh, we need to talk about this, we need to incorporate about this into this. So we want to bring this thing out, we make it known out there so that change is seen, so that the next mother does not suffer like you and I, or her and you suffered.
But you mentioned that you had a few friends that have gone through it.
Yes.
And they chose not to, I don't know if it's chose not to speak about it, or they didn't feel they had the tools to navigate.
They didn't have the tools to start with. How are you going to start talking about something that is considered a taboo to start with?
Exactly.
So I'll give my own experience. Mine, for my first pregnancy, when I had my first child, it was quite from severe to mild to severe, because I didn't understand what was going on. I was supposed to be happy.
It was an amazing time in your life.
You know, and half the time I was depressed and I was always tired. And my mom, very supportive. She did her part. She knew what she did what she knew best, and she would tell you her own experiences as a new mother, and she would say, when we were bearing children, there was even no one to help us. You had to do everything on your own. And so that already is telling you that there's something wrong with you. You're supposed to be this strong lady who wakes up at 5 o'clock and clean the house
and make sure
and
the meals are
cook
cooked.
all the meals and wash the baby's nappies and just do everything on your own and still smile and be okay. So that's the starting point. So I would usually have these bouts of happiness. 1 minute I'm happy and the next I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm so overwhelmed. I need help with this and that. And everyone just expects you to just have it all figured out. So now for my second pregnancy, it wasn't really that bad, maybe because I knew what to expect. But I had a friend who was texting me constantly. And I have a feeling that I'm the only person she could talk to. she couldn't even open up to her husband. That is how sad it is. Because unfortunately, our men, not all of them, some of our men
Yes, let's just put it out there. Not all of them.
have also been cultured to think that when you marry a woman, she's just supposed to be this iron lady who does everything for you. Have this baby and take care of you as if everything is just okay.
Rosy,
She has to stay up late and watch the baby and breastfeed and cook meals for you and clean after you and wash after you. So imagine having to live with a man like that. Where are you going to have the courage to open up to him and say, hey, I'm actually not feeling okay because of this new bundle of joy that we have?
And
It's a
even
very lonely place.
her point even brings out what we discussed last time. Support.
Yes.
From our spouses, family, friends. So you, because they don't know. You know,
Yes.
we may blame them, but
Exactly.
the way they are brought up, you know, our culture, it goes back to culture. Our culture is just centered on you. They'll
Yeah.
teach you how to be a good wife, how to be a good mom, and everything, a companion and everything. For them, I don't think much goes on in those teachings. I don't know. I'm not a man, so I will
Just
not
go
speak
be a good
much.
man.
But I've heard that they don't really, groom you into being that person. So even as
Not
you
not
find,
necessarily.
so if you find a man who's not even that interested, you find that they won't be interested in your antenatal care. They won't be interested in everything. But if we can bring this thing out where men are so involved in this, because even if they tried to be involved, you find that antenatal, you've been to 3 antenatal visits. You think your husband will be comfortable during those sessions? No, he won't be.
Did you attend any, sir?
I attended every single one.
You did?
Oh,
Single one.
that's good.
So why did you attend every single one?
So apart from the fact that we had a very hard pregnancy, literally from the day that we found out, my wife was sick. Like she was sick most of the time.
Throughout. Okay, yeah.
To the point where I think her last trimester she collapsed at work.
Oh.
Okay.
And she almost hurt herself. Like,
Yeah.
So it was the funniest thing is when we got pregnant, one of my biggest worries were what is her mental state going to be while she's
Yeah,
giving-
and that's
during her
good.
birth. And it stressed me out.
You are a unicorn.
That was your first thing.
You're a unicorn.
Yeah.
No.
No, it
And
was one of my
are you
biggest things
serious?
And you
because
know
the
what
thing
I
is-
like about his point? When we got pregnant.
And when we,
We, not
she
she, got
pregnant.
her. And that's the beauty.
I had something to do with it.
It was their thing.
had something to do with it. So
Yeah.
so
And that's how it's supposed to be. And that way you walk through together through that journey, and you will be able, like, so even when you have such issues, you'll be able
You'll
to
be
open up.
so
But if you
free.
have this partner who's just like, it'll be difficult.
Takuwa be attention
Yeah.
seeking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
coming back to your cultural teachings, when we were getting married, my Shibukombe actually mentioned to me, he's like, look, modernizing our lessons is something that I try to do. Yeah, may his soul
You're
rest in
so
peace.
lucky.
And when we were going through it, he was very honest, you know. And one of them was telling me, I put my baby on the back and cook.
Yeah.
So it's one of those.
It doesn't make you less a man.
No, it doesn't make
It doesn't.
Look, and please tell them.
It doesn't you less of a man.
So
You are still a man.
and you
Yeah.
never change.
Even if you change
Exactly.
diapers, you are still a man.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Wow.
I'm still
He's
on
a
that. He was
unicorn.
focused on her mental health.
He's a
like that's the
unicorn.
first
Yeah.
yeah. So when before we used to talk about it, you know.
Okay.
So after our son was born, she used to tell me, I feel like, you know, and remember we were speaking about this yesterday. We were saying we don't think we went through it, but after hearing what you said, we probably did go through it.
Yeah.
Because she would say things like, I feel sad, but I'm supposed to be happy.
Yes.
What's wrong with me?
Yes.
Baby not latching, that killed her.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was she was quite sad about it.
Yeah.
But then of course he did, and you know, you have to sit there going, be patient, be patient.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
throw the baby. I'm just joking. You know, so it was, it was an experience that we decided, I guess I decided, and you know what, I need to be there for her just to try and make sure that she's comfortable. That's, yeah.
So the first sign of like when, so we will call that PPD, right? But yeah.
I'm guessing, yeah.
Since you went through the motions, what was your first thought like when you noticed she was a bit detached? Was she detached from your son?
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. And that's the thing, like I said, we didn't know whether we were going through it or not. So basically we were just, we were going through the motions of
And you
being
didn't know
new
who to
parents.
reach out to, or did you think, oh, let's go to our health facility and find out?
No. didn't
Most
think about
likely
that.
they went through the blues, the baby
Oh,
blues.
the blues, yes. The
Yeah.
blues
Yeah,
actually.
actually-
A difference, eh? I didn't even know that. When she explained, I was like, oh.
What are baby blues?
Basically, it's just you know where
So many
your
things.
emotions are trying to settle. You don't even know. So you have this mixture of sadness
Yeah.
instead of feeling happy that you have this baby coming.
Yeah.
You have this baby, so it's just overwhelming emotions. You don't know what to do. You are scared. You're not doing this the best. You're not giving the best care. Yeah, and usually this one subsides within a few weeks. You get the hang of it, and your emotions are back. The joy of having a child gets back. But with depression, you are in it. Yeah.
So we probably did go through, she probably did go through the blues.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's funny. It was, you know, being pregnant is actually quite an experience. So when we were going through it, I just said, after the baby comes, it's gonna be a lot of work. Yeah. Only thing I didn't do is stay up late. Because of my work,
Yeah, no, it's
but,
okay.
Yeah, I didn't stay up late, but as much as possible during the day, I tried to help where I could.
That's
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's nice. Oh, I'm still on the whole mental.
I know that.
Yeah.
That is
But
so
you know, we
rare.
never even thought. You just
That
one of
is
those
so
things you just
rare.
never ever
No.
think of,
No.
Yeah.
because they're just like, oh, Urimwaume. That's the only thing that's
Yeah.
Urimwaume. You got her pregnant. Great.
Yeah.
They
And
don't-
then she can sort it out. Her body
Yes,
will sort
she'll,
it out.
she'll go through the motions by herself. Yeah, she's throwing up. Yeah, she'll be fine. She's going
Yeah.
through a tough time. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because when I went through, I didn't know what it was. I just, I was sad. I was crying. And I just thought, okay, maybe it's just, I'll feel better tomorrow. And it was just stages and stages and stages.
getting worse. Yeah.
And it was, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know who to talk to.
That's the thing.
I didn't know, I couldn't even speak to my person about it because I didn't understand what it was, and I didn't think he would understand what it was
That's
either.
the thing.
So it was very like, okay, I'll just
It's a
sit here
very
and
lonely
hopefully
feeling.
it will go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It's a
And
very
the
lonely
part that
feeling.
when I knew it was really, really bad was when I took my son and I was holding him. Well, we were standing by the balcony and we were like on the top floor. So I was standing there and holding him, and I'm looking over because we're living in apartments like upstairs. So I'm thinking maybe if I just throw him just there, that patch of vegetables, because our neighbor had vegetables. So it's like if I just throw him there, he will land softly. Or maybe maybe he'll break something, and then I'll just rush out and be like, oh, maybe I slipped, and
Yeah.
But the fact that I was thinking of harming my baby, that's when I knew, like, okay, this is bad. I
is
don't even know
very-
how I got back in the house. I don't even remember that.
Must
I
have been
just-
traumatizing.
Wow.
And to
Yeah.
this day, I'm just like, I almost threw him over. I was going to just toss him,
Ish.
just toss him, and just.
Yeah. Well, I actually just had a flashback of a conversation we had before, I think, after my son turned 6 months. She actually said to me that sometimes I used to cry. And I just looked at her and I just say, why?
And you think, oh, she's just being a woman.
Yes.
Yeah, women love to cry.
Yeah.
Or asked her, are you sad? Are you happy? She's like, I don't know.
Yeah. And you don't know.
You just don't get it.
Just cry.
You just want to cry. You don't get why you're crying. You don't know why you're sad. and not being happy that you have it about this new bundle that has
Yes.
come makes you even
Makes
more
it-
sadder.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And the guilt
Yes.
as well, because you're like you said, I'm supposed to be happy. I have this baby, so you just start to feel, okay, just you talk yourself out of it and just like, okay, no, just be happy. The baby's here. Yeah. This is great. But
You try and it's just not
really
there.
try and it's just-
It's very frustrating. And then just another point he raised, he said when they discovered that they were pregnant, he also had all these emotions, not knowing how they were going to be mentally
yes.
even him. So even postpartum
Yes.
depression can happen even in men.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I went through it.
That's the
Yeah.
conversation.
So you can have that as
Yeah.
well. And mostly because you don't know what is going to happen, you don't know how you're supposed to take care of this little person, how you're supposed to incorporate yourself in their lives. And in most instances, what even we push these men into this kind of situation, and we don't even
Yes,
know
we don't
about
know,
it.
yeah.
Because you have this baby, you may figure it out as a woman, the routine and all, but he doesn't know how to be part of that routine that has come.
That-
Because
yeah.
initially it was just the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's this person that you're giving most of the
All the
attention, and you
attention.
tend to neglect him. So even them, they
Did you feel
Yeah,
neglected?
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
actually that's
You
that's
did?
a very
No, okay. So when, so the funniest thing is, whilst I was doing some research, a YouTube video here, an article there, I got to a point where I started reading. I'm like, I'm focusing a lot on her feelings and what she's going to be going through, and I asked myself a very silly question: what about me? And I
a
called
valid
I called
question.
I called a friend of mine. And he says to me, "Yo, my guy, that's a very tough question." Right? And he says, "Good luck trying to
Because he
figure it
didn't
out."
know how to-
No, he
yeah.
didn't know how to figure it out. So I started looking at started asking myself, okay, am I gonna have a bond with him? Is he going to love me the way he loves his
Yes,
mom?
yes,
Because
yes,
for
yes.
for women and their children, it's natural.
Yeah.
The moment he latches on, that's it. His dependency is determined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we have to fit into that.
yeah.
I'm your dad.
Yes, yeah. Remember me. Yes. Even
Especially
though
if you even try to hold them and then they are crying. And they're like, oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, yes, no, it's
I
not-
remember
it's-
my fiance would be like, she doesn't like
Like,
me.
oh my goodness, that's
She
heartbreaking.
doesn't like me. I'm like, she'll get to know. How come she doesn't know me? How come I can't like? I'm like, she will know you
Yeah.
with
I
time.
actually
She's
said
still a
that.
baby.
That should take a toll on them.
I actually said
Yeah.
that to my wife. I
Yeah.
said, what if he doesn't like me? Or what if I can't figure out how to? What if I'm not a good dad? What if I'm not a? So there were a lot of the things I just started reading and trying to get comfortable. When he was born, I literally forgot everything.
Yeah.
I literally
happens.
forgot everything,
Yeah.
and it just became mechanical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just became mechanical, and that's when I kind of just said, look, if we're gonna ride this wave, and I kept on telling my wife, we're gonna ride this wave, we'll ride it together.
That is beautiful.
Hey.
She's so lucky. Seriously.
Please say that again.
Is
You are so lucky, lady.
to have this unicorn of a man, because most men don't care. They don't care. They don't.
I didn't want to be the one to say it, so I'm glad Miss Mwila said it.
Yes,
That they
Yeah, you're
they
biased.
don't.
Hey, call it as it is, because you do get men, like we said, they don't know what this is, and some just refuse to
Yeah,
even get involved or just to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
true.
They're just like, I don't know if it's denial or just, like you said, this is a culture thing. Like,
They want to
this doesn't
seem
happen to us.
manly. Like,
So
I don't
like
want to be
what
too
I do when
soft.
I'm doing antenatal clinics, couples. Okay, I make sure I encourage them so that that man still comes back.
Yes.
You create that environment so that the man is free, he's able to ask questions and all. So like at the Kitwe Teaching Hospital, PAMSCO, what we do for postnatal, when you see the nurse, they will even schedule you to see the doctor. So that way you can easily talk. So from now on, I'll remember
Yeah.
please.
to ask them, because I am guilty. I always don't really go into the. Yes, I'll ask. Are you okay? How's the bleed? I'll focus on the bleeding. How's the milk coming out?
Okay.
But from now on, I will focus more even on the mental health
Yes.
as they come through.
But Mwila, how did you get past your PPD or postpartum?
How did I really? I can't remember how, but I think it just went away.
It did,
Yeah,
just like that.
just like that. Because I don't remember really getting any help. To start with, I didn't know where to get
Where
the
to
help
get
from.
Yes.
And then I didn't have people in my circle who I thought would understand. So I really, maybe it was a miracle. It just went away.
Yeah.
I didn't get any help.
Yeah.
Sad to say. And I'm hoping that it will be a different story for the next woman.
Yeah.
You know, let's normalize having these conversations. Moms, especially, our moms are old school,
Yeah.
you know, and they just like, don't
Course,
worry, you'll be fine. You'll be
And you
fine.
don't want to step on them. So
No,
sometimes
you
even
don't.
when you're
Yes.
trying to
No.
bring in these modern
Yes.
things, they'll be like, oh no, you feel like you are, so you don't want that. So you
Exactly.
kind of just ride it with them with whatever, most of the things that they're telling you. Yeah, so
I think
I understand.
It just went
Even
away.
as the doctors, like, when you get to be on the other side, you forget the knowledge. Like
Yeah.
you said, you forgot most of the things and then you
Yeah,
were just
yeah.
riding.
So we're going into an exam.
Yeah, like even like sometimes I would question myself. I'm like, oh, and then after someone just points it out and says, Mwengwe, this, I'm just like, oh my goodness, I forgot that I'm a doctor and I knew this information. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
How did you get out of it?
I don't know.
See, that's the thing. And you know, this is sad on so many levels.
I know. It's that's what I'm saying. It's almost like you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing it back to you, like to the back of your mind, and just.
It is sad
eventually
on so
with
many
the support
levels.
at home
Yeah, I had support, yes.
and then
when I spoke
it
about
goes
it now,
away.
eventually to like my friends and like my partner and then my mom, they were just like, oh, okay. And then it was like, but
Yeah.
you never said anything. Like I'm like, but
Exactly.
I would be crying there.
Exactly.
Obviously, you're just thinking, oh, maybe it's the hormones, everything. It's more than hormones. It was just,
Yeah,
jeez, it was a lot.
I can only
It was
imagine.
a lot. It was just too much. So I don't, and I feel like sometimes it will come back. Because he's
That's
like
the
6
thing.
now, so I think it came back in
That's
his
the
third
thing.
year. I'll be like, why am I feeling like this? I'm like, okay, maybe it comes
That's
back
the thing.
sometimes. And apparently it's a thing. Like it will come back.
Because we are living in a crazy world. There are so
I was
many
about to say
things.
that.
There's so many things happening, especially like in my field of work. There are times I see teenage girls coming pregnant. They are sexually abused. Small girls. And I get that fear. I remember when I was pregnant, I was called to examine a child that was raped, that was defiled. I had that fear. Up to now, there are days like whenever I hear of a case, oh, this child was defiled at school, I'm just like, am I ready to take my child at school? So I have this fear. So you constantly have this fear, these emotions, and you just don't want. Because remember last time when I spoke, of this fear, the fear, it even sometimes you even get scared of even adding another child. You're just like, okay, why am I bringing another child to this crazy world?
Yes.
And remember I mentioned I had a crazy postpartum experience.
Yeah.
Up to now I am
Terrified,
scared. I am scared to have another child. Every time people are like, oh, when are you going to add another one? I'm like, hey guys, no, we are
popular
not
question.
doing this.
And
We are not.
yeah.
Yeah.
People just don't get it. I
She's a
wish
friend.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I wish we could
I'm
get
the friend.
to that point where people just mind their business.
Exactly.
Like, you have no idea what I went through to
Exactly.
bring
Thank you.
this one into the world.
Thank you. Husband
You
asking.
don't know my story.
And then you just want me to
why
bring in.
Should you assume that I immediately want to go and bring another one?
Oh no. Pregnancy
What if
first.
never?
Facts.
Yeah.
I remember one of my good friends, we always say, they never told us that pregnancy sucks,
No one
guys.
really prepares you for that.
No, guys. I didn't
it's one of those
like
things.
this.
It's one of those things where they'll say,
Enjoy the
you will
journey.
see when you get there.
Yeah.
Kulomuni.
Like
Ah,
no
right.
one. Apparently.
That's a whole other topic.
I know.
I know, pregnancy sucks, guys. And
Ish.
I didn't see anything enjoyable about it.
I did. It was fun.
You were not caring. It was how I was in and out of hospital. The sleeping. Oh my goodness.
Guys,
What sleep?
You can't even sleep.
what is that?
You can't sleep.
And
Everything is. Oh my goodness.
when looking
There's
at
that
this
flashback.
issue,
Yeah.
are there certain things that is it made worse because of the part of the world where we are? Do you feel that this problem is made worse because of the fact that we're in Africa and we're
Yes.
apart from the cultural? Because I'm also thinking
Mwape too. Isn't it, Mwape? Don't you think it's made worse because of that? And because of where we are? Agree with me?
because you
Yes.
know
I
I thought that came in my mind. I know maybe some of us might not relate, but imagine having to couple all these issues with now financial issues.
And actually,
You know-
some of those are the triggers.
Yes. So now you're already thinking, I can't even afford to buy diapers for this baby, and they need formula, and
Exactly. And how much is a
So-
tin of formula?
they need. I've never
my
really,
goodness.
200.
I've never
only
really
200.
used
It
formula
is
on any
not,
of my
not 200, guys.
Yeah.
I've always been,
Oh, we stopped using. Yeah.
yeah.
He also just
I've,
like,
I've,
now-
I've never. So I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
yeah.
But
We
then
didn't.
that's another thing that you have to really look at, because finances also, especially
Play a
now,
part.
times are hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the issues that is kind of like making the whole already bad situation
Yeah.
worse, because half the people who are having children cannot even afford to raise
take
them.
care of them. Yeah.
That's sad.
Yes.
So
It's a
I
reality
think we
of life.
discussed some of the risk factors
Yeah.
last time. So financial
Financial
Yeah.
issues. Sometimes it could be you're having, maybe you are with someone, you get pregnant, and then he
And then
decides
they
to leave.
decide to leave.
So this whole stressful. Maybe you were with someone, they die. You have this.
Yeah.
You've just lost your job, or you're just
Yes.
having anything that will just disturb
Yes.
your emotions and mental well-being. May trigger you into
It is.
going into postpartum depression. And then
True.
we even discussed there's even a worse form, postpartum psychosis.
Ish.
Oh yes. I remember
Yeah.
we spoke about psychosis. I didn't even know.
So
that
there are
was
3
a
types.
thing.
So you have the blues, where you're just having these emotions are all over the place. You get through it within a few weeks. Then get into a moderate one where you're depressed. Like she
think
had,
that's
you're
the
even having
one.
thoughts of
Yeah.
harming yourself or harming the baby. Some people even commit suicide. So you can get antidepressants. You get better. You talk
I
to
need to know those
someone.
antidepressants.
You get antidepressants, and you'll be there. If you are unlucky, you get the worst form, which you call postpartum or puerperal psychosis. So those ones even see things like they'll have this irrelevant talking. They'll have this
like schizophrenia.
abnormal behavior. Some are aggressive, like that.
And we said, where did we immediately go to with that? You have that one, and your uncle say,
Bolo
"Madimo,
shoe."
Yes.
Wako bakupeta ukeba mshikilifu.
Mhm.
And this is why this information is not out there, and the
it's not.
need to
What can we
To-
do to
it's
make it
awareness.
accessible?
Awareness.
No, it's
If
What do you think it is?
to be honest, look, like you've said, we come our culture, right? We were
But don't
birthed-
you think? Sorry, don't you think we keep hiding
Yeah, that's
in the name of culture?
culture.
So what I was about
It's
to say
time
is
for
like
us to remove that cloak and
we-
just.
the people who we look up to have been ingrained in that culture. if we want to change it, we do it ourselves.
Starts with us.
Yeah.
So it starts with us, basically.
But then don't
So
you
looking-
think you're saying it starts with us?
Yeah.
So we need to bring the
Me and you,
awareness.
Mwape, we are who we are, right? So when we speak about things, we're like, we're quite version
Yeah.
because
Well,
of where we went or
Yeah.
how we've been raised.
speaking English.
Speaking English.
Yes. But with the minority,
No, but
the
you
minority of
do
people-
have a point. It will always have that effect on those who feel rigid, if I can call them that, because there's always Pantubadiak University, or because they, because of where they live, because of. But we can't let that stop us.
Always,
and
yeah.
I feel like these are conversations we need to incorporate in with our relatives when we meet on funerals and parties and.
I'm just. so I'm just.
Yeah, because how are we going to
we
bring
need
out
to
the
start
awareness?
from somewhere.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can.
So just
I want your he's been sucked back like,
No, because I'm just having
I
having
use
thoughts here.
funerals and parties because
That's where you.
we rarely have time to meet
nowadays. 'Cause
family.
yes.
Every time it's a funeral bringing us together. Oh, we met
At the
2 years
wedding.
ago, a wedding, and so once. So how are you? How are the kids? Oh, my wife is pregnant. Have you thought about mental health?
Do you know
Bring
there's
up
such a
such
thing?
issues.
Yes.
Like just out of the blue. Because I feel we need to start from somewhere. We really need to start from somewhere.
What?
no, you have to say because really,
No, because I'm processing. Okay, so
I know.
you think about okay, you go to the hospital and you say okay, you realize that you have a problem. You go to your husband and say I've got a problem. I want to go and speak to someone. What if your husband feels like he's failing you? Is he gonna let you go talk to someone?
That's the thing.
So if you apply that in an environment where, if you go next door to Kwacha and his wife says, I want to go and see a doctor, what is he going to do? Yes, my wife,
No.
your mental health is important. It's also a reflection. Sometimes it's a reflection on you as a man when
But
you
it
feel like
shouldn't be.
but exactly.
yeah,
But
no,
it
but I'm
shouldn't
sorry.
be. It's because you are not aware that this problem is there. This thing could be there.
So
But
maybe we also
if we
perpetuate
made the community aware that there's such and such a problem, if I came to you and told you about it, you're like, oh, I've actually heard about such and such a thing.
Yeah.
So you are going to support me to go.
But Fiala Song.
So why is it that when
If
I
we
said
make it, it still
we
goes
talk
back
about
to
it
awareness.
everywhere. So
So if you
imagine
know that
you-
it can also happen in us blacks,
Yes.
you are still going to support me.
yes.
It's because
What
we
is
do
wrong?
not know. That's why
Let
we
me
are
give
saying
this
Fiaba Song.
example. What is wrong with having a headache and saying I've had this persistent headache and I want to go and get help? That is normal. Oh, drink water. But at least you're giving someone a piece of advice on how they can get treatment or relief.
Yeah.
So I want us to reach a point where mental health issues are seen as just as easy as going,
headache,
like going
get
for help
treated,
for a
yeah.
headache. It's as simple as I have a headache, I
But it's
have malaria, I have, and I need to seek medical advice.
But it's still problematic when you have health professionals who will tell you, no, but that's not a disease
Exactly.
for black people. That's a disease for white people. What do you mean?
I'm not going to speak on
Okay,
behalf
that
of
still
them.
caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I was like, bruh, and you're allowed to see patients? How?
It just shows how much work we
But
need to do.
But then again, if you okay, so you're targeting women. This is a predominantly woman issue, as we would view it in society. It's predominantly woman issue. So something that you said before is like you need the support system. But how does the support system come out and say I have this problem when society is perpetuating the fact that as a man I'm not allowed to speak about my emotions? The people that I go to have a conversation about these is my insaka, my people, me and the boys. We sit down and we talk. I get it off my chest. I go home. I'm feeling better. Your wife wants to talk to you. You're just like,
I'm okay.
Yeah.
And you block
No,
her
I
and
was
she
like,
gets
are
worse.
you okay? No, I'm alright. Don't worry.
Mhm.
When she wants to talk about it, you have to listen. You have to make sure that you're there. But you mentally, you're not there. But how do you do that in a society that doesn't allow a man to be able to communicate something like that?
And this is why we
Aware-
need
it
to
still
change the
goes back
narrative.
to awareness.
But then, as a man, you're not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be able to shoulder everything that's around you,
Yeah.
because it is weakness if you are emotional.
No,
But there's a
it's
difference
not
between
weakness.
just being emotional and being emotionally mature, and that's something that we don't understand.
Mhm.
So now being able to communicate is one of the biggest problems that we have as men. But we don't want to communicate because as society we're not we're going to be viewed as weak.
It's because we are missing the point. It's not everything that has to do with emotions. If I tell you you are able to talk to your friends about, oh, I'm having this financial problem, this, that. It doesn't mean you are weak. Does it? No.
We know he's not weak,
Exactly.
but society, again.
Yes.
It's because they are not
What
aware.
is society?
Yeah.
Maybe
Sure.
let's dig
It's because they are not aware.
Everybody.
So it's still
The world- that's
if
another
society-
story.
so if we make them aware
Yeah.
that this and such a problem is there, it doesn't make this person weak or less a man
Yeah.
or less of a mother. Even if I went to them, I opened up to them, if they were aware of the problem, they're not going to judge me. They will help me seek help. So what we need to do is bring this information out there. Because last week we had one of our panelists who said they didn't even know postpartum depression existed. So if there are people who don't know that it exists,
Even in men.
exactly,
You can't cure
you get
something that's
so
not-
you are not going to solve the problem. So what we need, the starting point is making people aware, because help is there. Drugs are there if you can't manage this by talking to someone, because treatment, you can either go for therapy, talking to someone, so that
That I was
you're
about to say
and
that.
all that.
Just how accessible is it to the no
General
more
public.
Yeah.
Zambian woman? Because when I think of therapy, I'm thinking money.
The money. No,
And I cannot afford therapy. So I will give you that excuse. Say that I cannot afford it. So do we have any system in place where even government hospitals can take on such issues pro bono? You know, I don't have to part away with my hard-earned money that I can use to buy my bundle of joy diapers.
That's my bundle of joy.
and
You know?
make it worse.
Because it comes down to that. Because I would tell you this: half the women will tell you, yes, I do want to get help, but I just don't have the means.
So there are counselors at every hospital. So they are
That's
trained.
news.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
there are counselors there. There are some, even midwives are trained as counselors. They can talk to you. Yeah.
Do they have the time? Because that's another thing. Do they have the time?
I know, right?
Do they have the
They don't
time?
beat, not every
They
midwife.
just beat.
We don't. They don't beat
beat
women.
people.
I've heard some horror stories. but
Yeah.
Let me not regale.
So
No, they don't beat women.
So any
The
last
midwives are good people.
Okay, no,
She's
I
laughing.
encountered like one or two. That I won't even.
yeah.
Digress.
Just
But
like you
before
said,
we
there
go-
are good doctors. There are someone
Yes.
would.
Yes. Yes.
Before we go, guys, like any, basically, this is, it's. Can we? Okay, are we in agreement that this is an issue that needs to be
Yes.
put out there? There needs
Yes,
to be
it
awareness
is.
around this,
Yes.
around postpartum depression.
Yes.
I just want to see more posters about it, more people speaking out about it,
Yeah.
because said to do that. Don't tell anybody about our problems. Just keep quiet and deal with
Yeah.
it. It will go away eventually. And
Like
then you have
it
people
did.
committing suicide,
Yeah.
not knowing why.
Yeah.
Oh, why? No, but she had everything. She was happy. The baby was there. They had 6,000 cars in the garage. They were fine.
Yeah.
I, for one, I will make a difference in my
Thank
antenatal
you.
clinic.
Give it up for Dr. Mwengwe. Thank you. Thank you.
Mexican.
I will also be more vocal about it.
Thank you.
And I'm serious. I'll bring it up at funerals and parties. Like, we need to start having these conversations. We really need to start having these conversations. You never know who you serve.
Yeah.
So I want to be more deliberate
Yeah.
and be more vocal about this issue. And let's see how it goes. But we need
Yeah.
Yeah.
to put it
Speak
out
about
there.
it more.
Yeah.
You bring it up at your Instagram.
I have a very strong foundation, so
Yeah.
I'm safe.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm safe.
You're good.
Yeah, but it's like we've been saying, it's not something that people actually talk about, and talking about it might help, but I don't know how the ladies are going to handle their men. That's
Yeah. If you or anyone you know is going through this postpartum depression, if you're experiencing these symptoms, please speak to your nearest healthcare professional. There's counselors at hospitals and there's drugs for it. I didn't know about that, so now I know. So for those of you who feel you need help in this area, now you know there's drugs for it, there's antidepressants, and there's counselors that you can actually speak to. It's been a pleasure, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been amazing. We need to do like part 3, part 4, part 5.
Yeah.
Parts of everything. We'll check back in with you like for a couple months to see if you're actually holding up to your promise.
I will.
Yeah.
Talking about this more.
Yes. Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
guys. Thank you for agreeing. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Tell your auntie, tell your grandma, tell your best friend. This is one you won't want to miss out on. I'll see you soon.
okay. Where's life?